Okay, I'm gonna start off with the thing that absolutely changed how I think about perspective. And it's really simple, and you're gonna hate me for this probably. It's using guidelines. Now, before you click off, I know it's not the super cool answer that you were looking for where I studied from a master, but it's what works. It's shocking, really, that I didn't use this before when it's so helpful. I thought that just by practicing perspective, by drawing those boxes, I'd automatically know how to use perspective. No, don't get me wrong. By drawing those boxes, you'll have the skill of perspective, but applying that skill is completely different. If you know how to draw boxes in perspective, you've done like 95% of the work. You just need that 5% boost that I'm going to give you right now to absolutely dominate perspective. I'm talking windmill dunk. I'm talking posterize. I'm talking watering the plants on a hot summer day. That one was specifically for me. I'm talking about these guidelines, but how do you use these guidelines, right? Basically, these guidelines are like from the vanishing points. A vanishing point is where all the points of an artwork converge. How do we use this? Okay, we just draw a line, kind of like those anime lines that kind of go inwards towards the middle. It's kind of like that, but on that point. So after drawing those lines, you just draw your box according to those lines. This video is not a replacement to practicing. It's a supplement, so it'll really help you as long as you practice. So make sure to practice. This is a practical tip right now. If you never practice perspective, just give it, dude, literally an hour and you'll be good. Once you draw the box, right? Oh, would you look at that? You just move for 1 point perspective, right? You just move the lines facing away from us towards the vanishing point. And the easiest thing to do with this is boxes. So that's what I do, especially for buildings. Like in the Splatoon piece, I used a bunch of boxes and just moved them towards the vanishing point. Really, it was really that simple. And then for the things that were a little bit more complex, like you see these steps here that are a little bit circular, this like pole going down. Dude, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even keep perspective in mind. I just keep the angle in mind of the camera. And it still worked. So perspective, again, it's about the illusion of perspective. Even for example, Kim Jong-gi, who is really good at perspective, sometimes even he's a little bit off when he's drawing straight up with like no guidelines, like what the heck? But even he's straight off, but it still looks good. Why? Because your drawing is not only about perspective, right? It's about your colors, it's about the emotion, it's about the effort that you put into this drawing. How do we translate these guidelines, these boxes, into like people, into things like a fire hose or something, or this person? You want to know what I do? I take a look at the vanishing point, where it's going, and then I kind of imagine the box there already, right? Like there's going to be planes to the body, right? There's the front, sides, and back. It's almost like Minecraft, you know? Think of it in Minecraft. That could probably help a lot, right? Where if you're seeing something from the side, you're not just going to see the side, you're going to see a little bit of the front, right? That honestly might be one thing that a lot of people really forget about. The body isn't just, the rib cage is not just a circle. There's like front, side, back. So when you keep that in mind, I just literally draw the circle for the head, draw the oval for the rib cage, you know, cylinders and all that stuff. But I keep in mind how the camera is looking at those things. Am I seeing it from the side? In this case, with the Splatoon piece, I was. Front and the side. Is the camera looking up or down? It was looking up in this situation because the Inkling's head is above the vanishing point. And if it's above the vanishing point, if you were practicing perspective, like I said, and if you didn't practice it, why? What's stopping you? I'd suggest, honestly, that you pause this video, go to a perspective video, or go on Pinterest and search for perspective practice sheets. Do those and try to understand, you know, when a box is above perspective, how does it look? Because that's what's happening with the nose. When the nose is above the vanishing point, what are we seeing? The bottom of the nose, right? And then for the neck even, there's a little bit of the bottom that you can see and things like that. And then to just literally draw things, like guys, what I'd suggest, especially if you're starting out, you could just draw a box there and then draw the features inside or on top of that box. Like for the ventilation shafts, I drew the boxes of the buildings first, and then I just added those ventilation shafts on top. I mean, the building's already following perspective, so it should be a good enough illusion to make the perspective look right. It's a lot simpler than you might think. Now, for these super detailed cities, you know what I believe they do? Because I've been drawing some more detailed backgrounds. I just draw the big shapes in first, get the composition down. After I get that down, I start adding the little things on top of the box, just like I said. If you add a ton on top of these boxes that are following perspective, I mean, it's gonna follow perspective unless you do something absolutely wrong. Like if I drew that the one air conditioner in the entire city, I drew it and then I had like a top perspective on it. I don't expect you to be making that mistake. You might, which is okay, but like, I just wouldn't expect it. This is one thing that I've actually noticed with myself and with other people too. They mistake not knowing perspective with not knowing anatomy. They could draw the head in a front view and they're like, oh, I know the anatomy of the head. You do not. If you say that you know the anatomy of the head and you cannot draw it in all perspectives, you do not know the anatomy of the head. Here's the thing, you might know it, but you don't know how to apply it. The anatomy of the head includes the entire head and how to draw the head in all angles. The anatomy and perspective are almost joint together. So again, for my 100 heads challenge, I drew in all these different types of angles so I could get a 3D image of the head. Now when I draw the head, I know what it looks like from below. I know what it looks like from above, from the side below, from the side above. Right? Fisheye? No, don't know that yet. If you don't know how to draw the head from the bottom angle, you probably already know how to do the perspective. You just don't know how to do the anatomy from that angle. And that's the thing. Perspective isn't really as hard as people make it out to be. It's really just about following these guidelines as best as you can, creating that illusion of perspective, and then turning these boxes and kind of molding them into the things that you want, the people that you want to make. Now for clothes, honestly, the clothes are on top of the dude. So if you get the dude right, you already got the clothes right. But if you're doing extreme perspectives, remember that things are in front. If my shirt is blowing in the wind, you're gonna see the underside of my shirt, which might block like my chest or something, or my face, a part of my face. If you don't do that and you just draw the shirt flat, I mean, it could still work in that perspective, but it's a little bit less convincing. You know what I mean? So the one thing I want to leave you off with is simply this checklist of things that you are going to do after this video. One, if you haven't already, please practice perspective. Just the boxes. It doesn't have to be a ton of boxes. Literally just a couple and multiple up, down, left, right perspectives. You should be good. Next is actually using these guidelines in your drawings. Please, like, this is the most important thing I want you to take away from this video. Use those guidelines. And this is coming from someone who never used those guidelines before. And I recently started using them, and my perspective is so much better. It's so much less flat. And the last thing, understanding the anatomy of things is also important to understanding perspective. If you want to draw a good perspective, you need to know how things look from every angle, right? Sometimes you can imagine it if the thing is simple, but if it's something complex like a human head, you're gonna have to practice that or get a reference. If you have any questions below, if you have any questions, you can comment them down below. I'll do my best to help. And one last thing, consider subscribing and also check my channel out from time to time. Sometimes if you subscribe, YouTube still may not show you my videos. So if you made it this far and really enjoyed it, hey, check me out from time to time. I'd really appreciate it. See you later.